everyone. Hope all is well. I had a great day today. I didn't get a lot of work done, only a little tiny bit. I mostly rested, ate, spent some time in the park because it was 83 degrees today, but got a little bit cooler later this evening, 75 degrees right now, and so I put a jacket on just so I would have, I wouldn't be so cold because I didn't know how cold it was going to get tonight, but it's comfortable out here. It's not too breezy. It's a little bit of breeze, but it's not too cold outside. Now, tomorrow it's supposed to be even colder. It's supposed to be, I think, 56 degrees. And so I'm not looking forward to being cold again, but it is what it is. But, and I want to say, if you are here for the very first time, welcome. If you are returning again, welcome back. And this is my podcast, Sacred Time. I am Carlita. I'm a 51-year-old mother and grandmother, and a very proud 51-year-old mother and grandmother. And this is my podcast where I talk about all type of things. So pull up a seat, and stay a while. And let's see what we have to talk about on the video tonight. Well, this video tonight, I am talking about, it's funny because I was watching Craig Cash TV. If you don't know who he is, please feel free to go over to his YouTube and check out his videos. And he did a video today that had to do with somebody he went to high school with, who went from a CO, corrections officer, to now he's in prison. But I'm saying all that because the video actually made me think about an incident. It's amazing how life is. There are so many incidents from my high school years that I can remember. And it's funny how you remember them and then you see the person again later on in life, or you see something about them being in the news later on in life, which I had that happen to a couple people that I went to high school with. And you never know where life is going to take you. I even thought about, and I'm just now thinking about something else that happened when I was in high school. Well, it happened after I got out of high school. This girl that was very popular, I remember wondering what happened to her. And I remember years later when I was in my 20s, I remember somebody saying that unfortunately she was coming back home late with a group of people, and the driver fell asleep, and she and a couple other people passed away, unfortunately. And the driver, I think, was the only one who survived the accident, which is still terrible because I remember the girl, and she had a bubbly personality, and she was very popular. Then I remembered another situation that happened where I saw a news article, and I mentioned this on a comment section of his video. I saw a news article of this guy that I had dated when I was in high school. And I remember the guy always seemed a little bit off. And I only dated him briefly. I don't even think I dated him for months. I'm trying to remember now. I think I only dated this guy probably about a month. And I don't know how I decided to stop dating him, but some way, somehow, I realized that I needed to move on from this guy. This guy was just really weird. And I'm just glad that I didn't date him longer than a month or 2 months. 2 months probably at the most. I remember one time he had come over to my house, and we were sitting around in my parents' basement talking, and I remember it was getting later and later, and my parents were like, well, especially my mother. I think my mother and me were the only ones in the house. I think my father might have been out somewhere. And I remember my mother was like, because it was getting later and later. I think it was almost 9 o'clock at night. And of course, as a teenager, you're like, parents are like, okay, yeah, what's up? Why is, this person still here? And so my mother asked me that. She asked me to come upstairs, and she was like, okay, is this guy going home? Why is he still here? Oops, my bad. Sorry about that. So my mother was like, why is the guy still here? And I was like, I don't know. I said, I don't know. But I realized my mother was ready for, him to go home so she can get herself ready for bed. And it might have been close, like a Friday night or something. So I told the guy, I was just like, I said, yeah. I said, well, I think it's time for you to go. But he was just, this guy, other than the fact of him being there a long time, because this guy came early and he was there for hours. I just felt like something was off about this guy. I could not put my finger on it. The crazy thing about it, years later, after we had all graduated from high school, and I never saw this guy again after high school. But I happened to be looking at something on the news. I don't know if I was reading a news article or if I saw it on the news. I can't remember exactly how it happened. I remember I want to say I was in my late 20s or early 30s when I saw it. Well, make a long story short, this guy had gone to prison for SAing, because I can't say what I really want to say, some woman. And I was just like, what? I was just like, I could not believe it. I was just like, wow. I said, I wonder if that's the reason why I felt vibes from this dude in high school. And then come to find out, I remember this other guy that was real popular in high school. Always liked to joke around, and and I remember when I remember at one point somebody was saying that this other guy, he always would dress real fly, and he looked all this and that. Well, this other guy, he was on the news. I remember specifically watching him on the news, and this guy had gone, they had arrested him. I think they were looking for him and his accomplice, and they actually wound up arresting this guy for kidnapping this lady and for SA. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy the amount of stuff that you hear about or you see over the years. And I don't think I ever in a million years would think that anybody I went to school with would be, because, and I guess I thought that way because, the high school I went to, I grew up in the suburbs, and the high school I went to was real, because it was in the suburbs and it was where it was at. I'm trying to park while I'm talking to y'all right now. Because where it was at, and to be quite frankly and quite honest with you, the majority of the people that I went to high school with were white. It was a few black people that went there, a few Spanish people that went there, a few Asian, but majority of people that I went to high school with were white. And just it was just the way our community was. It was just like the town that I grew up in was like a family type of town where, certain things you just didn't think would go on and happen. And the crazy thing about it is that, let me move this phone so I can talk to you all a little bit more. The crazy thing about it is that I never in a million years thought that a lot of the stuff that I saw as I got older would happen. Of course, life happens, and that sheltered environment that I grew up in, because I've gone through so many life experiences. I'm not green, as they would say. Would basically, if you don't know what the word green means, it means that you're naive. You really don't know what's going on. I'm not that green teenager anymore, because I've had so many different life experiences that have made me who I am today. The good, the bad, the ugly. If I were to talk about my life experiences, the things that I've experienced since high school and went through, you probably would be shocked. But, I'm 51 years old and I'm still alive. I'm still thriving. And I think my son would even be shocked about some things that I've gone through. But because even I've talked to him about some things that his father has gone through, and he was shocked about his own father. But but that situation, yeah, seeing the guy I went to high school with that was on the news, and seeing for kidnapping and for SA, him and another guy, and then the guy that I only dated for maybe 2 months or less, and reading on the news or saying on the news that he had gone to prison for SA. It's just wow. Or the girl that she passed away, and it's some other incidents that happened to some people that I went to high school with, and it's just amazing how life is. I mean, things that you would never think happen, and it's shocking how much can happen in your life, and the roads that we take, and we never know where life will lead us. But we all are trying to navigate and get through life the best way that we can. And I was thinking earlier how even though I've gone through my experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, they've all shaped me. They've all made me who I am today. Even as far as relationships go, even as far as being with my ex-husband, even though he was the way he was not a good man. And I feel for anybody else that gets with him. That even made me who I am today, because I grew through it. It made me a stronger person. It made me know what I I will and I won't take. It also, it developed a lot of experiences in my life has developed me to who I am today. And I'm still growing because none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. I'm not even perfect. But I'm grateful that I got through a lot of things that I went through and that I'm here to talk about it and tell about it. And so, yeah, that was a lot. I didn't expect this video to be this long, but it is what it is. I had to get a lot off of my chest because there were just some things that I thought about. I really thought about when I was younger. And but on that note, I want you to, if you found any value in this video, please like and subscribe. And until my next video, take care, be blessed, and have a great day.